Before we get into golf, we're going to talk a little UFC. 2 titles are up for grabs on the stacked UFC 273 fight card. Join the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New customers can bet $5 on any fighter and get $100 in free bets. Win or lose, guaranteed. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code BOOT. That's BOOT. It's on the bottom of the screen if you're watching live. Throw down $5 on UFC 273 and get $100 in free bets no matter what. That's code BOOT this Saturday at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. You must be 21 and over. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Okay. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral service can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, that's 1-800-GAMBLER. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can get it. You can still get in on the excitement. Everyone can play for a share of millions in prizes with DraftKings daily fantasy, MMA contests, UFC stuff. And as always, DraftKings is the official daily fantasy game of the PGA Tour. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Jacob Ranger alongside me. Kelly Gibson's hopping on the show. We're going to cover everything you need to know about the 2022 Masters. They tee off tomorrow morning bright and early. So get your bets in, get your picks in, finish your pool, and get it going. How we doing, Jacob?
Man, we're doing great. It's Masters week. You know, no work is going to get done for the rest of the week. It is now just time to sit in front of your TV and enjoy.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Really excited.
Get your pimento cheese sandwiches ready.
Whoo, you see the size of me? I fucking love pimento cheese.
I love it too, man. Beers at the Turn podcast.
Yes, sir.
Tell the Talkalata and Boot Crew Media listeners what y'all have discussed, and y'all just got started, but talk a little bit about your podcast.
Yeah, pretty much our podcast covers everything that has to do with golf. We recap the tournament. We give our picks on who might have a shot on that tournament. We cover gambling, cover news, cover equipment, pretty much anything that has to do with golf. We talk about, us three. We're not pros by any means. I think I'm a 7. I'm the lowest. But we talk about our rounds that we play, any interesting courses around the city. So we definitely try to promote the local courses here to get a little bit more play there. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. We've been doing it for about 2 months now, 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And we're having a lot of fun with it. And now it's our first major, and we're jazzed up, man.
No question. And for those joining us, we're going to be bringing on Kelly Gibson here shortly. But first, we want to remind everybody in New Orleans, especially locals, because we just had the Final Four. A lot of people made some extra money, or they spent a lot of money, and that's because they have it and can spend it. And for those who can afford to raise some money for a good cause, we want to tell you about the Kelly Gibson Foundation. We've been talking about it a lot on our podcast. We want to make sure we just posted a video on Instagram, on Talkalata, Boot Crew Media, Beers at the Turn Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before you get into golf, you got to get a little exercise in. You got to run. So if you're running in the Crescent City Classic on April 16th, okay, the clock is ticking. Why not run for charity? Participants that run for charity get special edition Crescent City Classic t-shirts, bib, prime starting location behind seated runners, and access not just to any restrooms, Jacob, the air-conditioned restrooms.
Whew, that's clutch.
So go to kellygibsonfoundation.org to register as a charity runner, or you can go to runsignup.com. But again, you go to kellygibsonfoundation.org, and it's right at the top. The link's at the top. You register as a charity runner. You send the fundraising link out, or you just donate all the money yourself. And, you feel a little bit more important, even if you're not a fast runner, even if you're not, running to win the event, you raise money for a good cause.
People helping people. You got to love it.
That's what we're in it for.
You got to love it. That's what we're here for.
So, DraftKings promo code, we got everybody hopping on, feel free to leave a comment, a question. We want to answer everybody's questions about the Masters. We want to cover everything. But we do have two special guests joining Jacob and me, and we're going to bring them on the screen here. And their names are Kelly Gibson.
Looking like
Augusta National, baby.
And,
National.
and Taylor Capouch.
Augusta National.
I love it. How we doing?
Got my Augusta National gear. Can you hear?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Got my
Hey guys.
old school
up, Taylor?
Augusta logo.
Can y'all hear us okay?
A little echo.
Well, echo.
Little echo. But so I got my old school Augusta National hat on, and I got my Augusta tie on. I felt like I had to get dressed up for y'all's show today.
I was about to say, you can't get that tie off eBay.
You can't get it off my neck. It's a little tight. It's a little tight. I think I'm already eating the chocolate bunnies for Easter.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what we're going to do first is, and thanks guys for joining. We want to move somewhat quickly, but we also want to open the floor for questions and comments and dive into things. So big things happening in New Orleans. The Final Four just finished. The Zurich Classic is coming up right after the Crescent City Classic. And but as we all know, the biggest golf event of the year, the Masters, a tradition unlike any other, kicks off tomorrow morning early. Tiger Woods is teeing off at 9:34 Central Time, 10:34 Eastern Time. I heard the kind of preview story just talking about just the fact that he is on premises with, pins and screws in his legs. And it was Gene Wojnarowski or whatever his name is on ESPN, who does these amazing stories, and he narrates, he is the voice behind some of these inspirational, promo videos. And what was really powerful was the 6 words that everybody's just waiting to hear. And that is "for please, Tiger Woods now driving." And if that doesn't give you goosebumps, just knowing that we're very likely going to hear that, log off right now. Don't listen to the podcast, because that ought to inspire just about any fan of golf, right?
Absolutely. And the thing that I find kind of funny about it, we talked about it the other night, was he still hasn't said like, "Oh no, I'm playing." It's like, "Oh, he's teeing off at this time." Well, still up in the air. It's just like, will you just give me a confirmation, Tiger? I want to celebrate. I want to take the next 2 days off work, put my red shirt on, my black hat, and get to business.
Exactly.
But Tiger's a needle mover, and the fact that he went through that horrific injury, and he's going to tee it up in the first major of the year. That guy's a freak.
Exactly. Hey, just to make sure, before I show y'all some picks that I want your commentary on, Kelly and Taylor, and then obviously Jacob, is there still an echo, or can you hear us fine?
I can hear you fine now. It's a lot better.
Okay,
Yep.
Good deal. All right, so let's jump into this. So to make a long story short, I've done for the past 9 years, so this is the 9th year, a Masters pool with 6 of my closest friends from college. And we're actually all getting together in San Antonio. We're going to play Oak Hills this weekend and watch the Masters together. So it's going to be good to see some old friends. But we started a long time ago, and I think it's okay to say that we were drinking, we were having a good time, and we came up with this massive document and this idea for a draft. But just to kind of put it in simpler terms, and when I show the picks on the screen, it'll be easy to tell which category we're talking about. But how we do it is we have 6 categories: 48 and over player, okay, a first-time player, a past champion, a U.S. wild card, a European wild card, and a rest of world wild card. So anybody who lives in any place outside of the U.S. or Europe. Okay. So I'm going to show the picks on the screen. We're going to go to the pro golfer, Kelly Gibson, first. And I'll read them out for you, Kelly.
Is this a time? Is this a timed exercise? I get 5. I'm on the clock for 5 seconds in the first round.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all 7 teams, right? And then just at first glance, before we kind of dissect these players, I want you to tell me which team you would take if you couldn't customize them at all, right? If you had to take the team with Spieth and the team with Spieth and McIlroy, you got to go with that. You can't change it and say, oh, well, I would put Dustin Johnson here. Okay, so it's kind of fixed.
I'm picking a winner out of your college buddies here. This is what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
All right, you ready? I'll read them out in case you can't see them.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go live to Augusta National.
Okay. Can you see that team on your screen?
I like this team.
Now do me a favor and disregard the 2 pink names, okay?
Okay.
Because those are bonus picks that don't come into play unless somebody misses the cut. So we're just looking at the first 6 here.
Okay. I like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6 man is one of my favorites. I picked him in the first round at a draft last night.
Okay, so that team is Jose Maria Olazabal, Patrick Reed, Tom Hoagie, Scotty Scheffler, Tyrrell Hatton, and Louis Oosthuizen. The next team.
Louis Oosthuizen, I like that one.
And guys, y'all got to pay attention here because
I'm paying attention.
I'm not reading them out again. We're moving fast here today.
I'm just holding the finger up to know which one I like the best, and whatever's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Okay.
I like one right out the gate, except for a couple of them, but the names. But that's your categories.
Yeah.
Going to be some duds on every team.
Are y'all in the same room right now? Because I just heard an echo when Taylor talked.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. You want to slide over here? You want him to sit next to him?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring Taylor Capouch into the studio. Taylor Capouch now entering the press room. He'll be taking questions from the media here shortly.
All right. While he's getting set up,
defending champion.
I'm going to show you the second team, Kelly. Okay. Stuart Sink, Sergio Garcia, Harold Varner III, Brooks Koepka, Shane Lowry, and Adam Scott.
I like the first team better.
Okay. So he's crossing off that team. Team 3, Lee Westwood, Tiger Woods, Sam Burns, Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland, or Joaquin Niemann. And Joaquin.
Really solid in the middle of the lineup. Really solid in the middle of the lineup. 2 really hot players and a player that nobody's watching right now, Xander.
Okay. Next team, Mike Weir, Dustin Johnson, Taylor Gooch, Justin Thomas, Paul Casey, and Mark Leishman.
Boy, Thomas is probably due. He hits the ball high enough to win there. Casey's got a beautiful swing. Dustin's already won, and he's due. He's been on a streak of no wins. I still like.
Right, so you got that team visually in your head?
Yeah, I kind of like that one too.
All right. Next team, Bernhard Langer, Bubba Watson, Cameron Young, a first-time player, Colin Morikawa, John Rahm, and Sungjae Im.
Rahm's the only name on there that jumps off at me. And I like Morikawa so much. Bubba's won twice. Langer's 90 years old and still playing. It's I like Finau. I don't know what the alternates mean, but he's not putting good enough.
We're not basing this off the alternates because the alternates only come into play if one or two of your players misses the cut.
Okay,
so just going off Thursday and Friday.
I'm still going with number 1 right now, but I like this one too.
All right, we have 2 teams left.
Give me the last 2.
All right, last 2. He likes the first team so far. Fred Couples as the over 48 player, Hideki Matsuyama as the rest of world player, Aaron Jarvis as the first timer, Will Zalatoris as the American wild card, Tommy Fleetwood as the European wild card, and Cameron Smith as the rest of world.
So I'm going to say kudos to you and your buddies, because I've seen so many of these draft options. I really like the way y'all doing this. But so Smith was he was my number 2 pick last night in a draft that I did, and I just like him as a player. I've always liked him, and he certainly is playing good. But I really like the way y'all doing this.
Yeah,
It's tough.
It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
It is tough. And the final team for you, Mr. Gibson, is Padraig Harrington, Jordan Spieth, Sepp Straka, Kevin Na, Rory McIlroy, and Abraham Answer, who is a member of Oak Hills, where we're playing this weekend.
So I've played Oak Hills a number of times in tour events back in my day. I played there probably, trying to remember, before we moved to La Cantera, I probably played two tour events there in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty neat little track, kind of an old school course. I don't like that last team.
Okay.
Probably the weakest team.
So if you had to pick, it would be between the first one and...
Can you show me the first one again? I just want to make sure my instincts were right there.
Olafable, Patrick Reed, Tom Hoagie, Scotty Scheffler, Tyrrell Hatton, and Louis O.
Louis O. I mean, I want him to win. He's been so close. And Scheffler is certainly the hottest player in the world right now. Patrick Reed doesn't care about anybody. I don't know much about Hoagie. And Tyrrell Hatton's going to have to exercise the greatest week of his patience in his life, because he gets a little, as they say in the Navy, his chili runs a little hot.
Love it. Okay.
Let me stick to my guns. Let me pick my horse. I'm gonna go with team 1.
All right, team 1. Okay. All right. Next up, Mr. Capouch. Of the teams that we've showed so far, from what you can remember, Taylor Capouch, ladies and gentlemen, executive director of the Kelly Gibson Foundation.
Gotta get
which team popped? Which team popped for you, Taylor?
Can you hear?
No.
Oh, he can't hear.
Because you got your earbuds in.
Okay, let me take them out. Sorry. Well, you got to answer which team you like.
Oh, I like the Morikawa team.
Okay.
How do you get it off my earbuds? On the settings.
Technical
difficulties. All right. You want to take it off?
That one. I like that one.
All
right. So Taylor likes.
Is it going to come on the screen?
Turn it off.
Well, here, turn it off. Hold on.
All right.
Settings, audio.
I'll wait for you.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, we can still hear you.
There we go. Are we in?
Yes. Can y'all still hear us?
No.
All right. Sorry, we're trying to get the speakers on the computer to.
No, you're good. Take your time. What team popped for you, Jacob?
Show me number 3 again. I don't know why.
The team of Lee Westwood, Tiger Woods, Sam Burns, Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland, and Joaquin Niemann.
You know, I'm going to go with that one. Not just because Eldrick's on the team, but I've been real big on Sam Burns.
You want me to take these off?
I think he's a great young player. Obviously, Schauffele's coming in. He's the sexy pick right now.
Yep.
Victor Hovland, good young kid. I think if he is going to win a major, it's either going to be a Masters or a PGA. And Joaquin Niemann, he's also a solid player. I think if anybody's going to come out and be a dark horse, I think it's going to be him. And the guy that I picked to win the whole thing isn't even on this list. So Corbin, solid, brother.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's see if these guys are back. Can y'all hear us? Kelly?
Paging Kelly Gibson.
No?
I can't hear them.
Should go to your Bluetooth.
There's nothing there, and then it's music playing.
You can hear the music.
No, there's nothing.
Yes.
There we go. I got it.
Test 1, 2.
Got it. Can you hear me now?
He's back.
Yeah.
All right. So you're just going to have to translate to Taylor, since I guess Taylor can't hear you.
He can't hear y'all. So we're trying
Okay.
to figure it out we had to download the Chrome before we went on. I don't know which one I'm on, but
No, that's
anyway.
all good. So what I would like for Taylor to explain, if you can pass this on to Taylor, is why he likes the team that he picked, which was, I believe.
Why do you like this team?
I like it because Colin Morikawa is one of my picks, and I also like the fact that John Rahm's on there too. And I think that either Siwoo Kim or Sungjae Im is going to be a sneaky one in there. And Bernhard has always made the cut or performed well, so it's an easy.
Not this year.
I think it's what it is this year.
All right. So did you hear all that, guys?
Yep.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
So the interesting one's going to be with Rahm gets paired with Tiger some kind of way. Did you hear the noise about that last couple of days?
No, tell us.
So Rahm released a statement saying that, he would like to become friends with Tiger, but he's tried to reach out to him a number of times, and Tiger's given him the Heisman every time. Doesn't respond to his request to become friends or get information. I think it's because of the backstory would be probably because of the agencies. Rahm was signed by Mickelson's agent, and Mickelson, I think, at one point owned part of that agency or something like that. So that's an interesting little side drama unfolding this week.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I mean, maybe if John Rahm drops out of the top 10, he'll start giving him some advice.
Well, John's also stated that he's going after Tiger's records. Well, that's a big statement. But if you don't think that way, you'll never get there.
Yeah, exactly. What do you expect him to say?
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to be a middle of the road kind of guy.
Yeah. So Nicholas was a little quiet when Tiger busted on the scenes, but now Nicholas has embraced it full on, telling him to go get it because he's still got a ways to go. But it's always fun this week.
So Kelly, I'd like you to pass one more thing on to Taylor.
Taylor.
And that is since he was wrong in his prediction of the Wisconsin Badgers going to the Final Four, what would be somebody that he would pick as a dark horse? Because obviously Wisconsin was a favorite. They were expected to go far in the tournament, but I don't want to know who Taylor thinks is a favorite, because he tends to get those predictions wrong. So I want to know, outside looking in, maybe somebody outside of the top 10 or 12, because he said he likes Morikawa. I want to know who he thinks could surprise people. Who's his second pick? Because I don't want his first pick, because his first pick was wrong in the NCAA.
Yeah, well, see,
Peter.
you also have to believe the things that I say too whenever you try to follow in on those things. But I appreciate you wanting to follow Wisconsin, the basketball team.
Absolutely.
I do like Tony Finau, as Kelly mentioned.
Yeah, player alert.
I think Justin Rose too. He's way outside, but he's performed well, and I think he could do well also. So those are a couple other ones. And Seamus Power has been playing really well too.
Yeah, go Irish.
Okay. First glance, let's talk about everybody's pick to win. Okay. So if you had one person, if you only had one bet to make on the DraftKings Sportsbook, what would be your pick? We'll start with Taylor.
I'm just going with Morikawa. I can't stray away. I'm going for him.
Okay. Mr. Gibson.
I'm going with Louis. Mr. Runner-up. I'm going with Louis. One of the prettiest swings ever in golf.
He does have a career Grand Slam at runners-up.
Yeah.
And he's won, what, 2 majors?
Louis?
British Open. I think it's 2. Yeah.
I think he's won 2 British, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's won 2 British Opens, never won the Masters, obviously, as you mentioned, has gotten runner-up and always contends in big tournaments. Who's your pick?
My pick is Cam Smith. I think he's in the top 5 in greens and regulation, 3-putt avoidance, strokes gained putting. The only thing that he would probably need at Augusta is scrambling, and he's ranked way down the list for that. But I just think right now he's got a hot hand, won a couple of tournaments this year. I think this is Cam Smith's year.
Somebody read Moneyball. They're going with the analytics.
Oh, no. I full out nerded last night. I went deep down the rabbit hole. But
I love it. That's golf now. All the young guys are all over the analytics on track, man. It's unbelievable.
Well, see, it's funny because when I play golf, I'm just kind of like, hey, what is it to the middle? Like, I don't know what the flag is. Like, I'm just gonna hit it in the middle. But if it comes to like sports betting or anything like that, oh yeah, I'm
calling you, so I'm not calling Taylor anymore.
Exactly. No, I go a beautiful mind real quick.
There you go. All in it.
Exactly. So yeah. And plus, the Masters is my favorite tournament to watch. So I want to make sure that I can somewhat guess who's gonna be victorious.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all my pick, but first off, I just want to show y'all my team, and I want to make something clear that the team of Mike Weir, Dustin Johnson, Taylor Gooch, Justin Thomas, Paul Casey, and Mark Leishman is the least favorite team I have ever drafted in this event. It is very unlike me to take these players. I usually never take Dustin Johnson. I usually never pick Justin Thomas. I'm more of a Spieth, Tiger Woods, Brooks Koepka kind of guy. I like Billy Horschel to make a run as a U.S. wild card. But I will say this, and there was a comment made in our draft last night, and that was, Jackie boy, it's a good team, but you could have one of my buddies, Matt Kitchen, he said, yeah, I'm looking at your team right now, and I see 7 out of your 8 players missing the cut. and I was like, you know what? You're right. But I think one of those players might win the golf tournament. And obviously,
all you need.
And I think, and honestly, Justin Thomas and Dustin Johnson, JT and DJ are the 2 likely from my picks to win if there is a winner of that group, right? But I'm just going to say this. My pick to win the golf tournament, even though I choose Jordan Spieth over him every time, is Justin Thomas. I just feel like 2022 is the year after about 6 starts, I believe. I think this is his 7th start, 6th or 7th. I just feel like he and Jordan are going to have that bond growing up playing golf as kids and then being at the green jacket ceremony and all the things in the champions dinner and all the things that comes with being a Masters champion. So that's my pick. I hate it, but that's my pick. Does that make sense to y'all?
You can't say hate, but karma's a big thing in golf. You got to embrace it. So after further review, you love your pick.
Yeah, I guess so. And he's the favorite on the top of a lot of golf rankings. Odds wise, Scotty Scheffler is the favorite, right?
Yeah, Jon Rahm is actually the favorite.
Jon Rahm.
Jon Rahm.
Let's double check this. Are you sure about this?
Yeah, he's plus 1,000. Scotty's plus 1,200.
Okay. Man, I'm going with Moneyball analytics here over Jackie boy.
All right.
I'm going with Golf Moneyball. You gotta come up with the name.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
Baller, analytic baller.
Right. Just to remind everybody, and look, some sports books are different how they do the odds, but we're going to go with my good friends at cbssports.com. And then obviously DraftKings, whose odds are very similar. That's the only place to make your picks, DraftKings Sportsbook, or do your daily fantasy game, which is fun. I mean, I had my team. I think I picked Kevin Na, Jordan Spieth, McIlroy, and Cameron Young as a first timer. You know, because you only have so much money to spend on the DraftKings fantasy draft game, but that's a lot of fun. Or just do it through the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Boot Crew Media. And here are the odds, right? Real quick. Jon Rahm plus 1,000, Justin Thomas plus 1,400, Dustin Johnson 1,600, Cam Smith, 1,600. Scotty Scheffler, 1,600. Rory McIlroy, 1,800. Brooks Koepka, 2,000. Patrick Cantley, 2,000. Jordan Spieth, 2,000. Victor Hovland, 2,000. And Colin Morikawa, 2,000. Who have we not mentioned, Kelly and Taylor, that y'all can see creeping up the leaderboard and closing the deal on Sunday?
Well, Tony Finau, he's been quiet lately, but he sure has played well there in the past, and he's got the power. The course is wet right now, but that doesn't really mean much at Augusta because they can dry out with the sub-air system pretty quick. They got sub-air in the landing areas, certain strategic areas, then their tee boxes and greens. I would tilt the odds to a little bit along their hitters right now. But this is just trying to handicap on early in the week. So Rahm would stand out there. I like the guys that hit the high ball. It's a second shot golf course.
Mm-hmm.
So your perimeter to land it in gets very narrow. The tighter the conditions get, the more narrow the landing area. So the margin of error on your approach shots is really significant. The tee shots are pretty broad, so that favors the longer hitter. So statistically, I'm going to push the needle that way with the soft course. But it's Augusta, you could handicap it on Thursday and be looking like a rock star. And well, it's all the way down to the back nine on Sunday, and it's a whole new ball game, So,
no doubt. Kelly, how many times have you played Augusta National?
I actually played it earlier this year. I just lost you somewhere. Here we go. Sorry, somebody's buzzing in on my computer. I played it the last week of January, and I played it back in 2006. I had refused to go there. I had refused to go there back in the day because I lost it again. My phone keeps ringing. And then I got invited to Augusta after I did all the volunteer work for after Katrina. They gave me an award there at Augusta called the Charles Bartlett Award. They give it to people that did the humanitarian cause or did community outreach, and so I was invited.
Just to clarify, that was the Charles Bartlett Award, not to be confused with Charles Barkley. You didn't get a Charles
exactly.
Barkley
Sorry.
Okay.
And that was the first time I played it, and then I went and played it again a few weeks ago. So it's an amazing place. It's like a temple. It's like a church. It's like the Vatican. I mean, it is even in January, it was perfect. And I caught it a little bit on a cold day a couple of weeks ago. And the first time I played it, I caught it on pretty good conditions. I played it right. I played it right after the tournament back in 2006. So
this goes to both of y'all, Kelly and Taylor, and I want to get Jacob's thoughts, but I know you'll appreciate the question about the older guys, Kelly. No offense, but 44 and over players. All right, we had the 48 and over category in our pool. Obviously, Tiger Woods is 44 years old. And we're going to close out with a little Tiger Woods conversation, but real quick, of the guys who are 44 and over, the guys who are 48 and over include Freddie Couples, Vijay Singh, Bernhard Langer, Sandy Lyle, and Larry Mize, and obviously Lee Westwood, Stuart Sink, just a lot of different names of those ages.
Hello. Hey.
What Eric, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Who do you like from like the age 44 and older? And obviously just give us your thoughts on Tiger Woods.
Well, 44 and older, I said it before. I think that Bernhard Langer is Kelly won't agree with me, but Bernhard is in my opinion, I think he's done so well on the Champions Tour that he can definitely still play at Augusta. I think there was I can't remember the press conference. I can't remember how many years ago where they asked Jordan Spieth, "Hey, are you surprised that Bernhard Langer is up on the leaderboard?" And this was after day 1 or 2, and he's like, "No. Have you seen how many times he's won on the Champions Tour?" So,
right.
So that shouldn't be of any surprise. But Kelly can talk more about Tiger because he played against him. So
Yeah, Kelly, we want to close out with your thoughts on Tiger Woods. Will he make the cut? Just the fact that he's there, and obviously won in 2019. He's won the Masters more than any other major, 5 times total. Just your thoughts in general of Tiger Woods. Will he make the cut? Will he be in contention, or is it just a blessing and an amazing, fact that he is there and present?
I think it's an incredible blessing, and it's so good for the golf as a whole. I mean, he moves the needle worldwide for television audiences. Everybody's going to be tuned in. It's a miraculous comeback. You don't see it in other sports. Somebody recovering this quickly, swing just by looking at it. I think it's been tempered from obviously all the injuries he's had, and of course the horrific accident. It's almost miraculous that he come back. It's going to be on par with what Ben Hogan did back. You read about Hogan's history, and I think why you can't ever rule Tiger out until I see it myself is because of his short game and his putting. The putting at Augusta is a great equalizer. So Jordan Spieth, certainly when he won there, his putter was on fire. Tiger still goes down in the books for me as the best putter ever. And, and everybody underestimates how great of a putter Nicklaus was, but Nicklaus might have been a better ball striker overall, second shot ball striker, and was a dominant driver of the ball. Tiger was dominant in all 5 areas that you need to be dominant at different times. But if Tiger's short game and putting are good, he makes the cut. In my opinion, he won't hit it. Now, I mean, his endurance and the fact that he's sitting on the bench for a year doesn't help. And it's not really that easy of a golf course to walk. It's a long walk,
Right.
And plus he's going to have everybody pulling on him. But the fact that he's out there and he might be, relieved to be out there and then back in the fight, that could be adrenaline working towards his favor. And so, I mean, everybody's hoping and praying that he does, because it'll carry the day sports wise. I wouldn't want to be any other sport competing for ratings this week.
Exactly. And Kelly, just final question for you before we let you go. And thank you so much for you and Taylor hopping on is because you have played with Tiger and against Tiger. What is it like, especially since your pick is Louis Oosthuizen to win the tournament? What is it like? Obviously, the pressure, the massive crowd that's going to be following that featured group of Joaquin Niemann, Louis Oosthuizen, and Tiger Woods. Could you just talk about being the other guy that isn't Tiger Woods, teeing off with him and walking 18 with him?
I'm regretting my picks now. I didn't realize that Louis played with Tiger.
Yes.
So that's an analytic that slipped past me. Your man didn't share that with me. Now
Come on, Jacob.
Yeah,
I thought you knew.
Out on me. No, well, I
knew.
Yeah, Jack didn't tell me to study this hard. All right, well, that changed a little bit.
9:34 Central Time. Woods is
taking that changed it a little bit. Look, those guys are all champions. I did get to play with Tiger at the San Diego Open during the height of his madness, and I just remember the first hole. It was over 10,000 people, and it was like driving it into a football stadium. And what happens is it makes you focus at a whole new level, and that's what happens once these guys get in the bubble. They're pretty good at tuning everything out, so it shouldn't be a problem. But historically, the guys that play with Tiger don't necessarily go deep.
No doubt. And historically, nobody who wins the par 3 contest ever wins the tournament. So do you even try in the par 3 contest?
No, that's why most of those guys bring like their kids to caddy or their girlfriends or whoever met in the bar the night before so that they could hit one putt and be disqualified.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. All right, guys. Kelly Gibson, Taylor Kapowich of the Kelly Gibson Foundation. We're going to keep reminding you about the Crescent City Classic charity runners. Great organization. I was at their fundraiser, but still more work to be done. And the mission of the foundation doing big things, registration for the Junior Golf Tour, just awesome things happening over there at the Kelly Gibson Foundation. Thanks again, guys, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank y'all so much.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.
Have a great Masters week.
Yes, indeed. Happy Masters week. Have a pimento cheese sandwich for me.
I'll do that.
All right. Thanks.
Peace, guys. All right. So let's do a little recap.
Okay.
Can you, because my phone died, pull up the damn DraftKings Sportsbook
Sure.
and tell me the odds for first? I'm a big first, for those tuning in, I'm a big fan of the first round leader bet because some people are busy. They're working on Thursday, but it gives you something to look forward to for the Thursday round, because the Thursday round, let's face it, it's not as exciting as the weekend.
No.
But it's exciting because it gives you a reason to watch every shot, follow 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 specific players that you might put $10 on, but the odds are so insane in golf that if that guy just so happens to be at the top of the leaderboard and Charlie Hoffman's not playing,
I know.
he's
Damn,
typically
that screws up my betting.
He's typically the guy at the top of the leaderboard. But you know who I kind of like? And I would like for you to tell me the odds on him.
Okay.
Is Harold Varner III.
Harold Varner III.
To be the first round leader of the Masters.
Okay.
If while we're looking this up, like, comment,
Plus
share.
7,000.
Plus 7,000, folks. That means $10 on HV3 gets you 700 if he is in the lead after round 1 Thursday. Now, in some cases, if there's a T1, if there's tied, don't you not get all the money?
Yeah, I think they split it or
They
something
split
like
it,
that.
right? So if there's 2 players, you would only get $350.
But nonetheless, I mean, you're
Still $10 turned into $350 if he's
Absolutely.
tied for the lead. If he's the outright leader, he wins 700. So give me some of your picks and tell me who the odds are for round 1 leader.
Well, I mean, round 1, it's kind of a crapshoot on round 1 because for new guys, they're still trying to get they're still trying to absorb everything that comes with the Masters, the crowds, the undulation, the conditions, stuff like that. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a real young gun who's just young, dumb, and full of cum going out there and just honestly just throwing caution into the wind. Like I said, I'm big on Sam Burns. He hits it on a line. He hits it high. If you see Sam Burns on top of the leaderboard on Thursday, I wouldn't be surprised.
Ironically, so I like HV3. I
Right.
like Sam Burns. And then my third and final pick for first round leader. Now, I mean, I could tell you 10 names that could be up there, but that wouldn't be as impressive if we narrowed it down to just 3. So I'll make my 3 and you throw out 2 extra. We'll have 5 total. Okay. So I'm going to agree with you on Sam Burns. I said HV3. And then my third and final one is Kyle D here, who commented. I completely agree with you because while Justin Rose could have a 76 or a 78 on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I believe he was in the lead of the last Masters when Hideki Matsuyama ended up winning. He's been in the lead at the Masters before, whether it was day 1 or day 2. He's the type of guy that nobody's really talking about right now. Definitely could see him at the top of the leaderboard. So HV3, Sam Burns, and Justin Rose are my round 1 leader picks. And you have Sam Burns as well, but who are your other 2?
Well, yeah, I'll go with Sam Burns. I can also see Joaquin Niemann going out there day 1, firing a low score. And then my last one would be, and for God help me, I can't say his last name, but is Tom Hoagie?
Tom Hoagie.
Tom Hoagie. He what he did at the AT&T Pro-Am, well, you know, the way that he played in the final round, he could surprise some people for round 1. Do I think he's going to be there on Sunday? No. But I think he could surprise some people coming out the gate week 1.
Okay, so remind me of our 5.
So you had Harold HV3, Sam Burns, and Justin Rose. I had Sam Burns, Joaquin Niemann, and Tom Hoagie.
Okay, Niemann and Hoagie.
Yeah,
We're sharing Sam Burns, so
We're
we both
sharing
get
Sam Burns.
We both get credit for that.
Absolutely.
Wrangler Spaceman commented and said, "CJ, who is he talking about?
CJ?
Who is CJ? Why? I feel like an idiot. Cameron. Tell us who you mean. CJ, is that your first round leader?
Yeah.
Whose initials are CJ? You mean DJ? Dustin
Yeah,
Johnson.
I mean DJ. That's infamous.
Oh, Oh, Cole Johnson. Well, Cole Johnson isn't going to be the first round leader, but I assume that's your name because that was my former roommate, Cole Johnson, who's chiming on here.
Gotcha.
Cole Johnson thinks that Sung J M could make a run. What members of the rest of world and or Asian communities do you think could make a run?
Oh God. If I am gonna go with the rest of the world's Asian community, I'd probably Sung JM. He is playing really well right now. That's not a terrible pick.
Want to remind everybody that Kevin Na is indeed American.
Yes, he is. Absolutely. But yeah, that's a solid pick.
What about a European player?
Oh, you know what?
Kevin Na was born in Seoul, South Korea, but he is classified as an American.
Well, yeah,
It's unbelievable.
You know what? We'll take him. I like Kevin Na. As far as European, it's kind of tough because if you look at Team Europe, they got Victor Hovland, they got John Rahm, and they got Rory that can really actually come in and make an impact. For some strange reason, don't ask me why. I know he's the streakiest player probably of all time on the PGA Tour, but I think Rory's finally figured out his putter. He's rolling the ball really well. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a run at it. Whether he can close on Sunday,
right?
That's on him. But
yeah.
I think right now he's playing well enough, hitting the driver well enough that he can make a splash.
All right, we're closing out. We talked about our picks, our groups, our 48 and over players, our first round leaders. We've talked about the odds. What are we missing? Are we missing something else? I mean, I feel like we maybe need to give some love to Scotty Scheffler, considering that he is by far the hottest player on tour right now.
He is, but I don't.
But that comes with a price when you're playing in the Masters, I think.
It does. All eyes are going to be on him. And here's a little fun fact. There's only been 2 players that have been 25 and younger that have ever won the Masters, and that's Jordan Spieth and Tiger Woods. 80% of the winners have played Augusta a minimum of 4 times.
Yeah.
So Scotty, I think this is his second Masters.
Yep.
It's a completely different animal. You don't need to be the longest. You just have to, like Kelly said, it's a second shot golf course.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope Scotty does win it. I love him. His face looks like Mr. Potato Head. He's a good dude, hits the shit out of a golf ball. The stage might be a little too bright. Now, could he compete in like a PGA or like a US Open? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Augusta's just a different animal.
One guy we also didn't mention is Patrick Cantley.
Yeah, we didn't.
No.
Former or last year's player of the year.
Yeah.
Cantley, he's one of those players where he doesn't do one thing sexy. He just does everything really well.
Mm-hmm.
And when he turns it on, he can make a run. I'll be interested to see how Pat Cantley does.
And then final thought. Did you know that the gold medalist, whether he's eligible or not, gets to play the Masters?
What?
So in this case, Xander Schauffele, even if he didn't pass all the other checks to make it into the Masters,
the gold medalist gets to play.
Yeah.
Well, Xander, he was Sean's pick on my podcast. I'd love it if Xander won. That guy looks like he parties, and I'm here for it.
No doubt. Final thoughts. Take the floor.
I mean, I'm interested to see how Tiger does. I know we're kind of beating a dead horse right there by talking about Tiger Woods again, but Kelly has a little bit more inside information because he's played with him and he knows him. The only thing that I'm going to be worried about with Tiger is I think his swing looks great. I think he's striking the ball really well. Obviously, he's one of the greatest putters of all time. But the thing that I'm worried about is if he does spray that driver into that pine straw and his adrenaline is kicking up and he tries to go, 03 Tiger, what that leg will do. There isn't a flat surface at Augusta. That's a tough walk. So I hope I tell you the truth right now. I think he's plus 250 to finish in the top 20. I'd take that bet. I'd take that bet.
Okay. I like that. Right now in my rankings, final thought on my end, listed at number 45 on my rankings, customized rankings, which I'm going to share with everybody a little bit later, is Luke List. And I'm going to tell you something cool about Luke List. He's not a first timer. Okay. The other guy I want to talk about is Taylor Gooch. He is a first timer. And not just because his last name is Gooch.
That's phenomenal. That's an awesome last name.
Luke List was tied for 33rd in the Masters. And this is his second time playing. Do you know what his first time playing was when he was tied for 33rd? Was 2005.
Son of a bitch.
When he was playing as an amateur.
Wow.
So Luke List has gone 17 years between Masters appearances, which is nearly a record. He's among the best ball strikers of the season so far, but he'll have to be blackout putting this week for him to even have a chance.
Yeah. That is a nice little fun fact, little Jeopardy fact right there.
Yeah, he was a 20-year-old amateur in 2005. Since 1960, only one player had a longer span between master starts. It was a guy named Bruce Fleischer, who waited 23 years for his second start.
Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, that's insane. And then the final guy is Taylor Gooch, who's playing his first time. He's been great so far this season. Good iron player. He's not long off the tee, but he can absolutely make the cut and mix it up a little bit. Look, a lot of these young guys and first timers can make the cut. You really just got to stay around even par.
Yeah,
at Augusta.
Yeah, and it's funny because someone commented on a post last night that I posted where we mentioned that on the podcast, and someone said, "Well, DJ finished 21 under." Yeah, he also finished 21 under in when did they play the Masters a year of COVID?
No, yeah, 2019.
Yeah, no, it was 2020.
2020. Yeah.
2020. You know, this course is different from March to April, believe it or not.
Right.
And you know, most of the time, you're not going to have people going out there firing that number. So you're right by saying if you stay around even par, you have a shot, especially when you get to the back nine.
And it depends on the course conditions. You know, they say if the greens are softer, obviously you're going to have some lower scores.
Oh, yeah.
So anything can happen. Finally, Bryson DeChambeau, no shot of winning the Masters, no shot of making the cut.
He'll never have
Patrick Reed. I also hope you missed the cut.
Patrick
frustratingly.
Reed. Patrick Reed's wife looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. I just wanted to state that for the record. But no, Bryson, I don't think Bryson will ever win a green jacket because of the way that he plays, the bomb and gouge. At Augusta, you can't overpower that golf course. You got to hit fairways. You got to hit greens. And when you're hitting out of the pine straw or the whatever shit they got around, it ain't going to be pretty for you.
No question. Jacob Ranger, everybody. We had Kelly Gibson and Taylor Capouch. This is Talk a Lotto, where we talk a lot of sports. For Jacob, I'm Jack, and we are signing out. Happy Masters Week.
Thank you for having me.
Peace and love.